You think you know which players every club in the world is fighting over right now. You have probably heard the big names. You have seen the highlights. But when you look at the actual numbers, the goals, the assists, the transfer fees, the contract lengths, the awards, 10 names sit above everything else in 2026. 10 players who every director of football on earth would sign tomorrow if they could. All 10 of them are black, and their combined impact on world football right now is unlike anything the game has seen in a single generation. Here is their story, from number 10 to number 1. Subscribe right now, because by the time you reach the end, you will understand exactly why these 10 names are reshaping football as we know it. Number 10. Zir Do, the teenager nobody can stop talking about. His name is Zir Do. He is a teenager, and he is already finishing second in the Copa Trophy, the award given to the best young player in the world. At PSG, Do arrived as one of the most talked about young players in France. And then he played, and the talk got louder. He has the movement of someone who has been in elite football for a decade, the composure of a veteran, and a way of finding space that defenders simply cannot map. In 2025, he finished second in the Copa Trophy behind only one player on this list, second in the world for the best young footballer. As a teenager, playing for Paris Saint-Germain is one of the most demanding environments in the game. Every club in Europe has a file on Zir Do, and the file keeps getting longer. Number 9. Nico Williams, the man who tied himself to Bilbao for a reason. Before you say it, yes, Nico Williams just signed a contract extension at Athletic Club until 2035. Most people look at that and assume the story is closed. It is not. It is what makes this more interesting. Nico Williams became a global name at Euro 2024. He was the man of the match in the final. Spain was crowned European champions, and Williams was central to everything they did. A Ballon d'Or nomination followed. The biggest clubs in the world came calling with financial packages that would make most players' heads spin. He stayed. He extended until 2035. And the reason is the only explanation that makes sense for a player at his level. He wants to be exactly where he is, doing exactly what he is doing. But here is the football reality. Athletic Club's release clause still exists. And when the right moment and the right number arrive, this story will have a second chapter. Every major club knows it. The file stays open. Number 8. Victor Osimhen, 37 goals, 8 assists, one of the most feared strikers alive. Victor Osimhen arrived at Galatasaray on loan in September 2024 and did what Victor Osimhen does. He scored relentlessly. 37 goals, 8 assists, 41 matches. A 4-year permanent deal is earned not through promises but through performance. His rise started in European football in 2017 and never stopped. His movement is direct. His finishing is cold. His willingness to run behind a defensive line for 90 minutes over and over again makes him every striker coach's dream player. Galatasaray moved fast when Napoli made him available. Other clubs hesitated. Galatasaray did not. And now every club that hesitated is watching those 37 goals and feeling the weight of what they missed. Number 7. Bukayo Saka, the number 7, who became Arsenal's whole identity. Subscribe here, because the next 6 players on this list represent a level of football that only comes around once in a generation. Bukayo Saka joined Arsenal's academy in 2010. He was 9 years old. He grew up inside this club. He understands what this club means to its supporters in a way that players who arrive as adults never quite replicate. By 2024-25, he had 10 assists in his first 13 Premier League matches of the season. Then, a hamstring injury in December threatened to derail everything. The concern was real not just for the season, but for whether the version of Saka who had been producing at that pace could return intact. He came back, scored on his comeback, then scored against Real Madrid in the Champions League. Some players are valuable. Some players are essential. Bukayo Saka is essential, the kind of player whose absence physically changes what a team can do. Arsenal have been one of England's best teams for 3 seasons. Saka is the central reason. The movement, the link plays, the direct threat, the goals and assists keep coming regardless of how hard the opposition prepares for him. Defenders know what he wants to do. They prepare for it specifically. He does it anyway. Every top club wants him. Arsenal want to keep him. That conversation is ongoing. and the outcome will be one of the biggest transfer stories of the coming years. Number 6. Alexander Isak, the striker who just broke the British transfer record. Liverpool does not break the British transfer record for a player unless they are absolutely certain. They have done it before. They have been wrong before. They have learned from both. When Alexander Isak moved to Liverpool on a reported 6-year deal, the fee set a new British record. And if you look at the numbers, the decision becomes obvious. 52 goals across all competitions in his final 2 seasons at Newcastle. 44 in the Premier League alone, not in 1 season across 2. Consistent, repeatable, the kind of output that tells a club this is not a hot streak. This is who the player actually is. A striker with size, composure, technique, and a left foot that produces goals from positions most players would not even attempt. He scores with his head. He scores with his right foot. He scores in tight angles and from the edge of the box. He makes the runs that create space for teammates even when the ball never reaches him. Liverpool signed him for what he is right now, and what he might become in the next 6 years at Anfield. That combination, elite present, elite ceiling, is the rarest thing in football, and Liverpool paid the British record to secure both. Number 5. Lemin Yamal, 16 years old and already La Liga Player of the Season. Here is a sentence that is completely true and still difficult to fully believe. Lemin Yamal arrived at FC Barcelona's academy when he was 7 years old. He made his first team debut in April 2023 at the age of 15. In October 2024, he won the Copa Trophy, the best young player on earth. And in June 2026, he was crowned La Liga Player of the Season after scoring 16 goals and assisting 11. He is 16 years old. La Liga Player of the Season at Barcelona. In the same league as Vinicius Jr. and Kylian Mbappe. There is no comparable career trajectory in the modern game. He is doing things at an age when most of the players alongside him on this list were still in youth academies. The ceiling is genuinely impossible to calculate. Number 4. Vinicius Jr. FIFA Best Men's Player. That is the whole story. December 2024. Vinicius Jr. stood on a stage in Zurich and received the FIFA Best Men's Player Award. Read that again. Not the Ballon d'Or. The FIFA Award. For the best male footballer on earth. That season, 2023/24, he scored 24 goals in 39 matches for Real Madrid. He scored in the Champions League final. He produced one of the most complete individual seasons in the club's history, which has won more European Cups than any other club alive. His speed is extraordinary. His confidence on the ball in tight spaces belongs to someone born on a football pitch. The way he takes on defenders not reluctantly, but hungrily, looking for the confrontation, comes from a player who has never needed to be talked into attempting the difficult thing. His performances on the biggest nights, Champions League knockouts, El Clasico finals, have consistently matched everything that was ever claimed about him. When it matters most, Vinicius Jr. is at his best. That combination, in a player of his age, is the rarest thing in the game. Every club on earth wants Vinicius Jr. Real Madrid has him, and that gap between wanting and having has never felt wider. Number 3. Kylian Mbappe, 31 La Liga goals. The Pichichi, the European Golden Boot. Kylian Mbappe's first season at Real Madrid announced itself the way great seasons always do, in numbers that leave no room for argument. 31 goals in La Liga. The Pichichi, the award for the top scorer in the Spanish league. The European Golden Boot is the award for the top scorer across all of European football's top leagues. In his first season at the club, against the best defenders in the world, in a league where goal scoring is not straightforward, and where every opponent has a specific plan for stopping the scorer they respect most, Mbappe became a Real Madrid player the way only a handful of players have, by arriving as the best version of himself and immediately proving it. The goals kept coming, the records kept falling, and the conversation about whether he belongs at that level has been settled by 31 La Liga goals as clearly as any conversation in football can be settled. Number 2. Mohamed Salah, 193 goals, 94 assists, one record season that nobody saw coming. Mohamed Salah moved from Roma to Liverpool in 2017. 9 years later, that decision looks like one of the most important transfer decisions in the history of the Premier League. 193 Premier League goals, 94 assists, numbers that age alongside the sport's greatest records rather than quietly being forgotten. But the 2024-25 season was something different even by his standards. 47 goal involvements. Not total career goal involvements, 47 in a single Premier League season. A record in a title-winning year for Liverpool. At 32 years old, the conversation about Mohamed Salah's longevity used to be polite. Whether he could sustain this level, whether age would eventually slow what had seemed unstoppable. 47 goal involvements in one season closed that conversation permanently. He is not declining. He is refining. And what that refinement looks like at 33 and 34 is now one of the most compelling questions in football. Number 1. Ousmane Dembele 2025 Ballon d'Or. The best player on earth. The Ballon d'Or is the oldest individual award in football. Since 1956, it has been awarded to the player judged the best in the world that year. In 2025, it went to Ousmane Dembele. His transformation at Paris Saint-Germain is one of the most remarkable late-career changes the sport has seen. A player who was for years associated as much with injuries and inconsistency as with talent, became the UEFA Champions League Player of the Season. 8 goals, 6 assists. The decisive player in PSG's deepest Champions League run, and then the Ballon d'Or to confirm what his season had already made clear. This is not a player at his ceiling. This is a player who found a level that nobody expected him to reach, and then proved he could maintain it across an entire campaign, against the best teams in Europe, on the biggest nights, with the ball, without the ball, in every way the award requires. Ousmane Dembele, 2025 Ballon d'Or winner. The best player on earth. 10 players, 10 different stories, 10 different clubs, 10 different paths to the same place, the top of world football in 2026. What ties them together is not just talent. It is the work done before anyone was watching. The academy years, the early disappointments, the seasons where the name was known but the impact was still being built. Every single player on this list paid before they were paid. Built before they were celebrated. Saka was at a North London academy at the age of 9. Osimhen is moving through European football one stepping stone at a time. Salah turned a move that some questioned into a decade of records. Dembele finding the consistency at PSG that his talent had always promised and never quite delivered until suddenly it did. Completely. In the season that mattered most. These are not overnight stories. They are patient ones. And patience is what the best careers are built on. Which of these 10 would you sign first if you ran a football club? Drop your answer in the comments and explain why, because this list generates arguments, and the best arguments deserve to be had. And subscribe because the next generation behind this list is already on its way. And this channel will be watching every step of it.